Yo, YouTube was popping. I told you guys I'm back, keeping it consistent. You thought it was a joke. I'm back here with another reaction. Today we got 10 most evil serial killers in Canadian history. You know what I mean? Let's lock in. Let's get straight to it. You already know what time it is. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Don't be a waste man.
Disaster in Canadian history.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at 10 of the most
Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel too. Watch Mojo. That's where I'm getting this
evil Canadians in history.
These people were animals.
For this list, we're looking at some of the most despicable individuals from the Great White North who have wreaked havoc on the world in their own respective ways. Which of these entries shocks you the most? Let us know in the comments. Joseph Albert Gay. Years after getting married to his wife Rita, Joseph Albert Gay met a younger lady with whom he
Imagine getting packed by a man named Joseph Albert Gay. No disrespect to the LGBTQs out there, but brother, could never
struck
be
up
me.
a romanticist lady with whom he struck up a romantic relationship. Determined to spend the rest of his life with his newfound lover, Gay devised a plot to get his wife out of the picture. To achieve this plan, he sought the help of two accomplices, his friend Marguerite Pitre and her brother Généreux Rouet, who was a clockmaker. In 1949, Gay persuaded Rouet to build an explosive device, which he then checked into an airplane Rita was going to board. The device detonated during the flight, killing all 23 people on board, including Rita. Gay's heinous plan may have succeeded, but he was also put to death after being convicted of the crime. Russell Williams. For 20
Where was that? Montreal? Like, what the? Did he have the death penalty? I mean, he deserves a death penalty 100%. The man blew up a whole plane. Like, why haven't I heard of this? What the?
3 years, Russell Williams was a decorated pilot and officer of the Canadian Armed Forces, rising to the rank of colonel. Williams was the commander of Canada's largest military airbase when he was arrested in February 2010 for the murder of Jessica Lloyd.
Williams' arrest hit like a bombshell.
He had been connected to the crime through the tire tracks found outside Lloyd's home after her disappearance. During police interrogation, Williams confessed not only to Lloyd's murder, but to multiple assaults and also breaking into women's homes to steal their underwear.
Yeah, 60 pieces of theirs.
He would then take
Yo, this guy's a freaky boy. This guy's sneaking in the gal in them cribs, smelling their panties, sniffing their panties, and offing them after. This guy's a weirdo.
photographs of himself wearing these garments. At his
Yo, they said the man took photos of himself wearing the garments. What type of chichi boy? Yo, brother.
trial, Williams faced various charges, including murder, assault, and 82 counts of breaking and entering. He is currently serving a life sentence.
How do you feel about what you've done? Like what?
Disappointed.
Elizabeth Wettlaufer. It's quite horrific that sometimes it's the ones who are supposed to care for us that end up harming us. That certainly was the case with Elizabeth Wettlaufer, who worked as a nurse in multiple healthcare facilities around Ontario.
Because soon enough, she'd be working night shifts. The nurse on duty, responsible for all the medications. She was the keeper. She was the boss.
During this time, Wettlaufer murdered 8 elderly patients of hers and attempted to kill 6 others.
Yo, some people are just demons. You just murder. Who gets a job as a nurse? Bro, that's like the nurse I reacted to on TikTok that went viral, where they're talking about, yo, bro, there's a nurse that was injecting people with not even hepatitis, some STD shit, bro. I don't know what's up with these nurses, bro. It's not even these nurses, just people in general, bro. I don't even know how you get, oh, bro.
She committed these crimes by injecting her victims with the diabetes medication insulin, which, when administered in high doses, can lead.
Bro, her fat ass probably has diabetes, so now she's trying to spread it to everybody else, you know what I mean? No diss to the fat people who have diabetes, you know what I mean? I know there's a lot of black people who have diabetes, but how are you out here injecting people with diabetes? You're fucking disgusting.
To coma and death.
Most of them lived at this care center in Woodstock, Ontario. In a chilling confession to police, Wettlaufer claimed they were annoying, stubborn, and some even wanted to die.
Yo! She said the old people in the nursing home were an old brother. This is why Caribbean parents say, yo, listen, never put me in a nursing home. How are you taking care of old people in a nursing home talking about they're annoying, stubborn, and some of them wanted to die? And you off them. Bro, this girl belongs to the Netflix special.
Wettlaufer also had substance use disorder, and while at a rehab facility,
She was a bucket. She was a bucket and a nurse. Blame the system, bro. Justin Trudeau.
God.
In 2016,
Damn.
she
Freeze, you
confessed
cold
to
for
her
that one.
despicable actions, chalking them up to, quote, surges beyond her control. In 2017, she was convicted and handed 8 consecutive life sentences.
She said she was sorry, but sorry's too late, it's already done.
Luca Magnotta,
And so I was on Facebook one day and I found a post. A lot of people have
This dumb bitch said she's sorry after she killed all those poor grannies, talking about they're annoying. Yo, she has 8 belts. I can't even be laughing. That's crazy.
been feverishly posting about a video that was online.
in 2010, multiple videos began appearing online which portrayed acts of animal cruelty being carried out by an unidentified man. The clips caught the attention of a group of online sleuths who were able to identify the man as Luca Magnotta. Soon after, another video by Magnotta surfaced. Only this time, he was no longer inflicting harm on an animal, but a human being.
It was no longer a game of online, this was real world.
The victim in the recording was an international student from China named Junlin. Magnotta had lured
Bro, any kids that like to torture live animals, rabbits, anything, raccoons, any kid you see that likes to take those type of animals and burn them, we all knew kids like that growing up. Bro, serial killer vibes, I won't even lie to you.
Len to his apartment, where he murdered him and then mutilated his body on camera. Magnotta fled the country afterwards, but was eventually arrested in Berlin. The investigation of the case became the subject of a highly controversial Netflix documentary.
They finally caught him. And it was just like the perfect way for Luca to go down. Luca was caught in an internet cafe because he couldn't stay away from his vanity.
Clifford Olson. Dubbed the Beast of British Columbia, Clifford Olson was a serial killer who rained terror on young people in the area in the early 80s. Olson claimed 11 lives in less than 1 year. He was finally arrested on August 12, 1981, after a failed abduction. What makes this case even more outrageous is the controversial plea deal Olson reached with the authorities. In exchange for confessing to all 11 murders and leading police to the locations of the victims' remains, Olson's wife and child received 100,000 Canadian dollars. He was eventually sentenced to life in prison before dying of cancer in 2011. Paul Bernardo and Carla Homolka. The crimes of killer couple Paul Bernardo and Carla Homolka are arguably some of the most horrifying in the history of Canada. Even before meeting Homolka in October of 1987, Bernardo had committed multiple assaults, mostly in the town of Scarborough, Ontario.
The damage that it did to those victims was unreal.
05 to 2016, I remember this guy was going mad.
After the couple began dating, Homolka became an accomplice to Bernardo's sadistic crimes, aiding him in the assault and murders of at least 3 young girls, one of whom was her own sister Tammy.
Homolka didn't lift a finger to save her sister from Bernardo.
Upon their arrests, Homolka turned on Bernardo, claiming to have been forced into participating under the threat of violence. Bernardo was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life imprisonment, while Homolka was found guilty of the lesser charge of manslaughter.
Since then, she's kept a low profile, going by the name Leanne Teal.
Marc Lépine. To date, the...
Bro, she touched road after doing all those aiding and abetting. Bro, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro. That's just goes to show you, oh, brother, the law is rigged.
École Polytechnique massacre remains one of the deadliest mass shootings in Canadian history. The ugly episode, which was perpetrated by 25-year-old Marc Lépine, occurred on December 6, 1989, and left 14 women dead, and an additional 14 other people injured.
Soon, news of a crazed gunman started trickling out, sending anxious families into shock.
Great ideas can come from anywhere. With Wix,
but no one knew anything for sure.
Fueled by his frustrations with feminism, Lépine walked into the École Polytechnique de Montréal and specifically targeted women in the institution.
He yelled at the guy that they have to leave the classroom. 9 women all together in the corner of the room. He told us that we were there because we were feminists.
At the end of the ordeal, he took his own life. The massacre acted as a catalyst for stricter gun control laws in Canada, and its anniversary is now observed as the National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women.
These women's respective lives and destinies were shattered.
which has left us with the obligation to reflect on this loss.
Gilbert Paul Jordan. Known in the media as the Boozing Barber, Gilbert Paul Jordan was a Canadian serial killer who found
A boozing barber. Let me guess. He's a drunk?
an unconventional way to kill his victims. Instead of conventional weapons, Jordan's was alcohol. A person who misused alcohol himself, Jordan would pick up women from bars in Vancouver's downtown East Side and ply them with drinks. Once they had blacked out, he would then force feed them with more alcohol until they overdosed and died. He mostly targeted Indigenous women in the area and is believed to have killed at least 8 women throughout his spree.
That's crazy. You're just going around forcing people to drink till they die. The type of idiot thing. Bro, I know some mans like that, they move like that. They try and get you drunk and drunk. Bro, what's wrong with people? You just force a man to drop all that liquor.
Unbelievably, Jordan was only found guilty of manslaughter in one case and served just 6 years in prison. Inderjit Singh Rayat. Before the 9/11 attacks, the deadliest act of terrorism in the aviation industry involved Air India Flight 182. On June 23, 1985, the plane left Montreal for London, but exploded in midair, leading to the deaths of all 329 passengers and crew.
Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. When I made oh, that's crazy. 300 people died on Air India. That's actually mad. They're saying he's the craziest. What the? We run that back, bro. That's crazy.
Only found guilty of manslaughter in one case and served just 6 years in prison. Inderjit Singh Rayat. Before the 9/11 attacks, the deadliest act of terrorism
Before the 9/11 attacks, that was the deadliest attack.
in the aviation
I was in Canada. How come nobody talks about these things?
industry involved Air India Flight 182. On June 23, 1985, the plane left Montreal for London, but exploded in midair, leading to the deaths of all 329 passengers and crew.
There are memorials across the country to honor the victims. The sundial on Toronto's lakeshore marks the moment that changed hundreds of families' lives.
A second explosive device was aimed at another flight, but it detonated earlier than expected and killed 2 baggage handlers. The event was masterminded by the leader of the Babur Khalsa separatist group, Talwinder Singh Parmar. Parmar persuaded a member of the group, Inderjit Singh Rayat, who was a mechanic and electrician, to build the incendiaries used.
For some, Canada's worst mass murderer is considered a hero.
You would think that people would have moved on from...
What the? They have the man's face up on a poster like he's some type of boss don. That's crazy.
those radical thoughts from 30 years ago, and we're at a new place in our history.
Of all the people involved, Rayat was the only one convicted. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Before we continue, be sure
15 years in prison for Hold on, bro. This can't be the same crime. 15 years in prison for killing 300 people on Air India? Bro, Indian lives matter, bro. That's crazy.
Convicted. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified. Robert Pickton. Possibly one of the most prolific serial killers in Canadian history, Robert Pickton was a pig farmer whose large farm became the site of his despicable crimes. In 2007, Pickton was convicted of the second-degree murders of 6 women, although he confessed to an undercover agent that his actual victim count was 49.
The hours and hours of tapes and thousands of documents make up a staggering amount of evidence that until now could not be reported.
It's believed that Pickton's murderous spree began in the mid-80s when he inherited his family's farm.
I think he acted alone most of the time, but I don't think he acted alone all of the time.
Together with his brother, he hosted raves that were sometimes attended by up to 2,000 people, some of whom became his eventual victims.
He actually set up the circumstances in these raves that they were having to lure effectively a kind of...
That's crazy, bro. Some people don't deserve shit. This guy inherited his family's money and decided to throw parties and kidnap people and cook them.
steady stream of prey for him. So in that sense, I don't know how much of it was a conscious effort on his part and how much of it was just circumstantial good fortune as far as he was concerned.
After killing them, Pickton reportedly gave their remains to his
Haram.
pigs. He was sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole for 25 years.
Yeah, bro, that's it, bro. There's some twisted, fuck. I don't even try to swear, but there are some twisted people in Canada, brother. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Send me some videos to react to too. You know what I mean? Hit me on IG, viral on TikTok. You already know. You know what I mean?